Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Meal Solutions class. My name is Joni Rampolla, one of the registered licensed dietitians with Giant and Martin's. And today we are going to make a fajita steak salad. And I love the combination of a fajita and a salad. So let's get started. All right, so why I love this recipe. It's a nice healthy balance between your meat and your veggie. And if you've been in other classes talking to me, it's kind of like don't make meat the center of your plate. Combined it nicely with your vegetables. And this is one of those recipes that does that. So it's maybe even a little bit more veg than your meat. And I love that balance and it's delicious. This recipe earns 2 guiding stars, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that if you're not familiar with guiding stars. But that means it's a 1 star is good for you, 2 stars is better nutrition, 3 stars is the best nutrition. So it earns 2 guiding stars. It contains protein, fiber, and healthy fats. And they are all the things that support your blood sugar control, help with weight, and can help you feel satisfied or fuller longer, which to me is always a really nice benefit when you eat. I try and always get that protein, fiber, and healthy fat in every meal. And also this week, and this week only, you earn 2 choice points on store brand items and $1 off Nature's Promise grass-fed beef. So guess which beef I chose for this? That Nature's Promise grass-fed beef, but you can choose any sirloin. And the salad kind of eats like a meal. And per serving, it has 25 grams of protein and 12 grams of fiber. And those 2 times choice points on all private brands, so not just, it's like any of the store brand products through February 20th, you earn double choice points. So really, really nice benefit. All right, so let's talk about this recipe. Fajita steak salad. It has an avocado cilantro dressing and it earns 2 guiding stars. So what are guiding stars? So you can find guiding stars on our recipe site, which is Savory, or also in our store. So guiding stars helps you identify quickly foods that have more vitamins, minerals, fiber, whole grains, omega-3 fatty acids, all those things that your body wants, and they have less of what your body doesn't want, right? Saturated fat, trans fat, added sodium, added sugar, or artificial color. So if you're in the store and you're looking for a product that has a guiding star, there's a little price tag or the shelf tag there with the price on it, and it's to the right of the price. If you're online looking for a guiding star, the item that you're looking for, you have to actually click on that individual item and then scroll down to the nutrition information. And if it earns a guiding star, you'll see it there. So 1 star is good, 2 stars is better, 3 stars is best nutrition value. And then this is our recipe. So it has sirloin steak, some taco seasoning, olive oil, a mixture of what we call the fajita mix in store, just your cut up peppers and onions. You can cut them up yourself if you want. I love our little mix. Frozen corn, an avocado, chopped cilantro, a low-fat buttermilk, a fresh lime that you juice, or if you want to use juice in a bottle, you can, 2 romaine hearts, a 1/4 cup of pickled red onions, and 2 cups of crushed tortilla chips as a garnish if you choose. And then we take our steaks, we pat them dry, rub both sides with taco seasoning, throw them in a skillet, and that's my little clue here to turn on my skillet and start warming it up. Add the steak, cook about 3 minutes per side, which is a medium rare. Then you let your steak sit for 10 minutes. Then in the same skillet, while your steak is resting, you're going to put in some more oil, put in the vegetables, and cook them 2 to 3 minutes. Add some taco seasoning, remove them from the heat, and then you make the dressing. So in the dressing, I'm using a little blender, or food processor. We're going to blend the avocado, cilantro, buttermilk, lime juice, a little bit of water. If you want salt and pepper, add that too. And then we're going to cut up the romaine, divide it into bowls, add all the vegetables, the sliced steak on top, garnish with your dressing and some tortilla chip. And that is our recipe. I'm going to stop sharing and we are going to start cooking. All right, excellent. So while my pan is heating up, this tiny little packet, it's so cute. Let's see if we can get the camera to focus on it there, but this is 100% grass-fed beef, and it's a thick cut. So it looks tiny from the front, but it's really nice and thick, which is good. So you take this, you pat it dry, you put your taco seasoning in it. So this recipe calls for the amount of beef that's in 2 of these. So I have 2. One of them I took out of the package and it already has its taco seasoning on it. So I didn't put salt and pepper. That's my personal preference because I think there's enough salt in there. But so yes, so I'm going to just stick this in the pot and let this start cooking. All right, so the cut is top sirloin steak, and that's what the recipe called for. So I hear comments, I see comments that it's not budget friendly, but it is on sale. So there's $1 off grass-fed beef. And also you're earning 2 times choice points on it. So everything in this recipe, I brought store brand today because there's 2 times choice points on everything. So I want to read you what it says on this little package too, while my beef is cooking. So it's beef raised without antibiotics ever, no added hormones, free range beef, 100% grass-fed beef. So our beef is in the free roaming pasture conditions of beautiful New Zealand, and they only have a grass-fed diet. So what I learned about grass-fed is it has to say this 100% grass-fed for them to be grass-fed their whole life. And why some farmers don't do 100%, even if they have free pasture and their cattle are roaming everywhere, they do feed them grain sometimes. And there is an allowed percentage of grain, but not if it says 100%. But that is because if they are only grass-fed, it takes about 2 years to get them up to weight ready for slaughter, where if they get grains in there, they could save 6 months or up to a year of time. So it costs more money for a farmer to be 100% grass-fed because they hold that cattle longer. That's my understanding of why it's a little bit more expensive to get 100% grass-fed beef. But okay, so I have one beef cooking right here. And it's thick, so it might take longer than what it says. But we are in a cast iron skillet cooking it, and that is because like a cast iron skillet does the best sear of a steak. It does a really good job of keeping it seared. So let me see what we're doing next. So we're going to cook this for about 6 minutes, and then I have a cutting board over there. I am just going to let it rest. And you let beef rest on a cutting board because if you cut it when it's hot, I should back up. They usually say don't cook beef when it's cold, like from refrigerator to skillet. If you want the most tender beef, let it sit out at least 20 minutes as well before you cook it. And then when you cook it, you let it rest again at least 10 minutes. And that's because if you cut it right away, the juices just come out and you lose a lot of them. Juices are still going to come out, obviously, but if you let it rest at least 10 minutes, some of those juices get dispersed differently throughout the meat and it'll hold on to them. Is the flavor and texture of 100% fed beef better than grass finished beef. So it's a choice. There is a little bit different taste to 100% grass fed beef, and it's actually a leaner cut. So it has more fat in it if it did have grains in this diet. So it is a little bit different that way too. So yes, it's slightly different, but still good. And from what I understand, all cows start being grass-fed, and this is new to me as my understanding, something I recently learned. But while they're nursing on their mother, they're out in the pasture. So that could be 7 months, all cattle are grass-fed and with the mom. And then if they go to a feedlot, that's where they're fed grains. And sometimes the grains have mixed in hay or other grasses as well. So it's not like they don't get grass. But yes. So you could use non-beef protein. Yes, you definitely could use a non-beef protein. You can use a chicken fajita, a shrimp fajita. You can do non-meat. You can make any recipe your own. I am just using it because this grass-fed beef was on sale, and in a meal that is mostly vegetables and a little bit of meat, I get the delicious taste of grass-fed beef without it trying to be the center of my plate. And that's why I love it so much. Yes. So my beef is still cooking. I'm just going to flip it here. So while that is cooking, I might start on my salad dressing. Right? When the beef is done, I'm then going to cook the vegetables, but I think in the meantime, I'm going to do my dressing. So I'm going to use just a single bowl, and I put in the 3 tablespoons of water ahead of time. So you see a little bit of water in there, just because my computer is literally sitting on my sink. It's hard to get water when I do these classes. I have my sink, my stove. So, all right. Let me just lower this fire a little bit so it doesn't get too hot. So I'm going to add 1 avocado. So what I did is I took an avocado, I sliced it in half, then I stick the knife in to pull the seed out, and then that's what it looks like with no seed. Then I just scored it, meaning cut my knife down it to make it into chunks. And then I'm just gonna, it just really falls out nicely. So that's 1/2. I just wanted to show you how to get the avocado out. And then I already cut up the other half. So that is my 1 avocado in here. Then cilantro. I, of course, brought my store brand cilantro, right? Because again, I'm earning double the choice points. So this is cilantro. And I have it measured out to my 1/2 cup. And I'm going to put that in. Oops. Flying cilantro. Love it. And then buttermilk. I've never really used buttermilk before, like just to have in the house, but I bought some. And again, store brand. How do you pick a good avocado? So I pick it depending on when I'm going to use it. If I know I'm going to wait a day or two, I make sure it's a little bit hard. If I'm going to use it right away, you want it to not be mushy, but have a little give in it. So then this is my 1/2 cup of buttermilk. What do you guys do with buttermilk? Put in chat if you use buttermilk. I have now more than 1/2 a container, and I'm like, I've never used buttermilk. Allergic to cilantro. Yep, not everybody loves the same things. And you don't have to use cilantro. I know some people don't like it. Like, that's a choice. Hardly ever use buttermilk. Biscuits or pancakes with buttermilk. Oh, such a good idea. Yeah, cinnamon bread recipe. Banana cake. Wow. Bake a cake with buttermilk. Okay, all good thoughts. I am going to have to look at that one. All right, then 1 lime juiced. So I took a lime, I took it out of my fridge because these are better to juice when they are a little bit room temperature, not so cold, where you can just kind of roll it around in your hands to warm it up. I have one of these little juicer things. It's just plastic. I don't know what it is. It's just this. I just pop it in here in the line, the top of the line. Turn it to get it to go down in there with a little bit of pressure. Sugar cookies. Oh, I see that question. How do you make buttermilk? I am not the girl to answer that question. I have no idea. Google could answer that better. Usually I know most food cooking questions, but I don't really use buttermilk, so I don't know. So then I just open the cap of this little contraption and it juices my line. I'm just going to then squeeze the lime, try and get all the juice out. And it looks like my steak is just about done. While I'm finishing juicing my lime, I'm going to grab my steak. Getting as much juice out of this little lime as I can. All right. I'm letting my steak sit over there. Oops, I just turned the fire off. Not really what I wanted. And now I'm going to put in my fajita mix. I love the blend. So this is the fajita mix blend. It already cuts up your peppers and onions. If you're looking to save money, cut them yourself. I hate cutting onions. Anything where I have to use onions, I always buy store cut. It's just easier, it saves time, and stops me from crying. But yeah, so it has your green peppers, red peppers, and yellow onions all mixed in here. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil. And then my peppers and onions, I'm going to put them in the pan. And these cook about 7 minutes, because that's going to be a little bit of time. So while those are cooking, I'm going to finish my dressing. So let's see, we have avocado, cilantro, buttermilk, lime juice, and then it says season with salt or pepper. So I have just Mediterranean sea salt. You can use any salt you want. There's no reason why I have this. I don't think it's better than any other salt. Give it just a little spritz. Then just regular black pepper, nothing fancy here. Give it a little spritz. Stir. And then I'm going to turn off my volume for a little bit while I blend this to make my dressing, because I know you don't want to hear the sound. All right, let me unmute. So it looks like I need to add more water. It's a little bit chunky, the dressing. But yes, I see the question. Does Nature's Promise qualify for 2 points, 2 times choice points? Yes, Nature's Promise is our store brand. So absolutely. Taste of Inspirations is a store brand. Just the regular Giant Martin's is the store brand. Yes. Can you get buttermilk these days? Yes, I just bought mine at my local store. So I know they have it. Is there a substitution for buttermilk? Google can answer that. I've never used buttermilk before. This is my first time. So I don't know much about it and I didn't research it. So I can't answer buttermilk questions today, but I will put more about buttermilk in this class. But I just want to show you what this looks like. It's very thick. It's not liquidy yet. So I need to add some liquid to this to make it dressing. So in the recipe directions, it said add more water if it's too thick. So mine's a little bit thick. So I will have to add more water. Nice. Is there a benefit of buttermilk in baked goods? So many buttermilk questions, and I honestly don't know the answer to that. I wish I did. I'll learn more about it and I'll put something in the follow-up email about buttermilk because I see you're all asking and I'm a buttermilk novice myself. Call a food friend. Yes, Grandma. Originally, buttermilk was the leftover liquid from making butter. Thank you. Now it's a fermented drink like kefir and sour cream. Thank you. So I still need a couple more minutes on this fajita mix, but then I'm just gonna, while this is cooking, kind of go to the next step. So I bought this Nature's Promise Hearts of Romaine and I chopped it up, and this is just 2 hearts of romaine that are chopped, and it makes a good amount. So I'm going to take some, and this recipe makes 4, serving 4. So you're supposed to have 4 bowls. I'm just doing 1 bowl right now. So I'm putting my romaine in a bowl, and then we're going to top it with pickled onions. I didn't realize how much I love pickled onions, which are also fermented, so really good for gut health. Let me find my pickled onions. And we do not sell them in store brand. This is Cleveland Kitchen brand that I bought. And they are just kind of like red pickled onions, and they're a little bit sweet, so they add a very different flavor. I'm going to just put some of those on my salad. And they just add some really cute pink color too. So it's a color pop. And I'm going to let that finish cooking, and then I'm going to slice my beef. Let's see, we have about 5 minutes left. I just have my beef on a cutting board. Oh, you know what? To my vegetables, I forgot a step. We are going to add thawed frozen corn. After that cooked in the pot, then you add the thawed frozen corn, and we are adding, let me look up the quantity here. 1 cup. So I put the rest of this bag back in the freezer and I saved just 1 cup in here. I'm going to add this 1 cup to my mixture. And then mix it up. And you hear that sizzle. All right. And then after the corn is added, we're adding some taco seasoning. So I have it measured out here. I'm going to add some taco seasoning so that the vegetables all get that fajita taste. We're going to mix it up one more time. And then I'm going to just take a scoop of this and put it on top of my salad. And that is my salad. I'm going to cut some of the steak. Mine's a little bit pink inside, or maybe a little bit more pink than I would prefer. I should say it that way. So I'm just going to put 2 strips on here just to show you what it looks like. I may stick my meat back in the pan. Oh, you make your own pickled onions. I love that. And then for this, I took just Nature's Promise tortilla chips. And yes, Nature's Promise is a store brand. I put them in a bag and I went to town and got my anger out and just smushed them all in the bag. And then you end up with these cute little chunks. And I am just going to sprinkle some on my salad, which is right below me here. And there you go. That. Oh, there we go. Had to find how to get there. That is a delicious fajita salad, no wrap needed. And this recipe does not call for cheese. If you're a cheese eater, you can even sprinkle a little cheese on top. It looks delicious, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me today in this fajita steak salad. And thanks for all your help with figuring out buttermilk. Have a great rest of your day. Bye. You are quite welcome. Yes. Bye.